Giving me an up-close and personal view. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joanne Powell Show. I am Joanne. We're coming to you from the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.TV, Hollywood. Well, there is fallout over President Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey. The reason why the White House says it has to do with Comey's handling of Hillary Clinton's email, that situation last summer. Many are questioning whether or not it was politically motivated, and Trump's attempt to slow down or to stop the Russian investigation. Many are saying, is this a cover-up to something that might have been getting close to in that investigation? Well, joining me now to sort things out are Bill Snyder, who is a political analyst. He's joining me out of Washington, D.C. Bill, thank you for joining us on this very important and fast-changing matter. Do you hear us, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Let's just jump in. One of the things that people are talking about, the timing of this particular firing. This was a situation, Hillary's emails were back in the summer. Nothing was happened when he came into office in January. A lot of people are saying, why now?
Because the president had an easy pretext for firing Comey now, because Comey had lost the confidence of important members of the FBI and the Justice Department and the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General who urged the president to fire him. The president has been looking for an opportunity to get rid of Comey because Comey is a real threat to him. So when he found this opportunity, it suddenly emerged with Comey's testimony before Congress that had to be corrected by the FBI. He seized it and got rid of Comey very quickly.
Some were saying that this is kind of a trend of the president. If you have people that are kind of getting close to something that he's not comfortable with or doesn't like, he will fire you. This is something that we saw happening with Sally Yates. She was the acting attorney general. She went to the White House, and actually Monday she was testifying before a Senate committee on that very that fact that she was kind of warning the White House about what was going on with Mike Flynn and things that were happening regarding that.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mystery too, because one wonders about Mike Flynn's connections with the Russians. Did the president know anything about those connections? Did anyone in the incoming administration authorize those connections, or in the Trump campaign? All of this is a little bit mysterious and raises a lot of very difficult questions.
And when we talk about that, a lot of people are kind of showing parallels between what's happening now and Watergate. What are your thoughts about similarities and differences?
Well, let me tell you something. You know where I am right now? I'm at the Watergate.
Oh, wow.
That's where I am. I'm at the Watergate, Washington, D.C. In fact, the Watergate burglary occurred about 50 feet away from here in the building next door. Now, there is a certain similarity between this and Watergate. The key word is cover-up. This smells like a cover-up of something. We don't know what yet because we don't know what the FBI is finding. But in some ways, this is more serious than Watergate. Watergate was described as a third-rate burglary. The cover-up was what destroyed the presidency of Richard Nixon. In this case, it's not a third-rate burglary. It's the possibility of interference in the U.S. electoral process by a hostile foreign power, by Russia. That is far more serious than robbing an office at the Watergate.
A lot of people are saying if Russia would have come in with their planes and bombing the United States, there would have been a total different reaction. But this is very serious like that. It's almost like cyber war.
It is a kind of invasion of the United States, which is exactly why people take it very seriously, because the idea of foreign interference in our electoral process is outrageous to most Americans. And many people suspect that there's something going on here, and Trump and his associates may be using this to cover it up.
Because there's a lot of, smoke and mirrors, a lot of distractions. Let's take the shift away from this to do something to get people's minds off of it, because it seems like the closer you're getting to something significant, something like this, or, we had, wanting to send troops into Afghanistan, there's always a distraction to kind of keep this off the headlines.
That's right. But one thing we might be seeing here is that members of the FBI who are continuing this investigation, no matter who is the director, the investigation has not ended. We could be seeing leaks from within the FBI to the press about what they're finding. We haven't had any real leaks yet because we don't know what the investigation is coming up with. But I wouldn't be surprised if members of the FBI who are upset over Comey's firing may decide to leak some critical information.
I know one thing, they are talking that former director Comey is actually scheduled, well, they have invited him to testify at one of subcommittees on Capitol Hill on Tuesday. So they're waiting for a reply to whether or not he's going to be going to the Senate to talk with him about. Now, with that, now that he's no longer the FBI director, is he able to talk about more than he wasn't able to talk about when he was the FBI director?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he is. He's no longer a public servant, and I'm not sure. There might be laws applying to reveal. I'm sure there are laws applying to revealing classified information. So there's probably a very serious limit on what he can talk about. But he's bound to be freer to talk now than he was when he was FBI director.
And there also is concern about the way that this all went down, because initially the White House was saying that they walked over a letter that basically was saying that. Then we found out later that that was not it at all. He was here in Los Angeles, former director Comey, at an event, and actually it was the Monitor that, it was shown that he was no longer the director of the FBI, and he initially thought it was a hoax, and realized when one of his aides pulled him to the side and said, no, this is a serious thing, this is a reality, and he hopped on a plane and headed back to Washington. And that's something that has a lot of people in the criminal justice field and within the FBI very outraged and upset because of the way it was handled.
That's the very sort of thing that could lead some members of the FBI to leak information because they want to defend Comey. They are outraged by the way this was handled. Comey was apparently speaking to FBI agents. I think it was a recruitment trip.
Yes.
When suddenly he saw on television that he'd been fired. The delivery that you talked about happened at his office in Washington.
Yes.
A manila folder was delivered to his office. He was 3,000 miles away in Los Angeles.
And it seems like when you get the firings, I mean, this is like the second time that I can remember when the people have been away doing their job and then they found out that they're no longer employed by the United States.
Well, this is a trademark Trump move. Look, remember, his signature phrase on television is, "You're fired."
Yeah.
That's what he's famous for, and he's still doing it. He's continuing most of his pre-presidential practices, including Twitter and announcing people are fired, just the way he always has operated. So that's no real surprise.
One thing that I find interesting, there's so many things that are happening that people find questionable. When does something happen key with all these issues that are questionable, whether it's conflict of interest, whether they're ties to Russia with his administration or even himself? When do you see consequences for any of this happening?
Oh, they have to reach a critical mass, and that usually means something like a crime. It took about a year for Richard Nixon to lose the confidence of his party and his people. Trump hasn't lost the full confidence of his party. His ratings have been very low for some time. But you have to have something shocking, a smoking gun coming out of the investigation. That is why many members of Congress, Democrats and a few Republicans, are saying, what we need here is a special counsel. We need an independent prosecutor. Yes. The problem is the special counsel law expired in 1999. In 1999, it was not renewed. So it's up to the now acting deputy attorney general, Mr. Rosenstein. It would be his responsibility to appoint a special counsel, and members of Congress are not pressing for it. In fact, Mitch McConnell said they are not going to ask for a special counsel. Remember, the presidency, the Congress, both houses, they're all controlled by Republicans, and they don't want to have a special counsel.
We're going to talk a little bit about more on that. When we come back, the conversation is very fascinating. You're watching the Joanne Powell Show, and don't go away.
If you are an adult that began college and has not finished your college degree, let me put it to you straight. If your lifestyle and your standard of living is not becoming to you, then you should be coming to us, Oakwood University Elite Program. We are the fast, flexible adult degree completion program for the busy adult, like you.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098. It's time to leap.
thanks to Oakwood University and the LEAP program, I have now a college degree. So to the Spanish-speaking members of this community who feel that the LEAP program is something you should consider, I would say, ánimo a la universidad. Considere el programa LEAP de Oakwood University.
Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.
Seize the day scuba for your best scuba experience above and below the sea. You'll find friendly staff, experienced PADI certified instructors, and state-of-the-art scuba equipment and gear. Join our dive club and we'll help you plan memorable scuba excursions. Immerse yourself. Seize the day scuba, serving Southern California. Call 949-220-0500 to create your scuba experience.
When I first started into the program, yes, I had doubts. I was really impressed with Oakwood University, with the faculty and the staff and the student body. It was a really good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who was thinking about going back and finishing their degree.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726